Hey everybody, it's Cosmo the Coder here, and welcome to May. It's May the 3rd, 2016. Tomorrow's May the 4th, so I've already had plenty of emails telling me how many fantastic Star Wars deals there are out there. But we're not talking about Star Wars deals, we're looking at Humble's bundle this week, and this one is a bit different from last week's Nintendo bundle. And I'm pretty sure they've actually had a bundle like this before, but apparently they decided to just not bother with the same numbering convention. It's called the Humble Eye Candy Bundle. Now I'm going to get rid of this and go straight in here. Let me get rid of that, and that, and go straight in here. So 3 games, and I'm going to get rid of that CC cleaner telling me to save lots of space. Whoops. 3 games at the pay what you want tier, so not even $1, but it's pretty much clear that it is $1. All 3 games are $6.99 on Steam right now, so I'm going to just go straight in with that one. And the first one is called Human Resource Machine. Now, the Human Resource Machine is from the same people who made World of Goo. If you don't remember what World of Goo is, then it's a pretty quirky, clever little puzzle game with goo balls. This game is along the similar sort of lines. It's a puzzle game where you basically program workers in your office or whatever you want to call it, and using a simple programming system, to solve puzzles. It's got some extremely good reviews on Steam, and at the moment on Metacritic it's 78%, and as you can see, it's a pretty quirky little art style. Now, I've actually been quite interested in this game, so I'm actually going to play this pretty much as soon as I've finished recording and uploaded this video, so expect to see that on my channel pretty soon. Shantae Risky Revenge Director's Cut. Now, it turns out Shantae was originally released on the Nintendo systems. I think the Game Boy Color was the first game. This is actually the second game in the series, if I actually read it correctly, and it's actually a release on the PC, which has incorporated some elements from other ports, just to confuse the hell out of you. It was actually mentioned last week on the actual Nintendo bundle, and this is actually the prequel to that game. So this is actually as you can see from the art style, a little bit less in terms of graphical art style and everything, but you're still playing the same character, which is Shantae, or Shanti, or I don't know how you pronounce her name, but she's essentially a half genie with the ability to fight bad guys using her hair and various magic spells. It's a Metroidvania sort of game, puzzle platform, or whatever you call it. It's extremely positive reviews, and beyond that, you can pretty much tell from the actual video what it is. So definitely worth a good look at. A Boy and His Blob, again with the Nintendo sort of classics. This is actually a reimagining of a Nintendo classic that was released yonks and yonks ago, and it's actually a game that's been on multiple formats, including the Wii. It's essentially I'm trying to think of the game. It reminds me a lot of Bubba and Sticks, if you ever played that on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, where you basically use a blob to solve various puzzles by changing into certain tools. As you can see from the art style, it looks very cartoony, similar to the sort of the Japanese cartoons. That's at least what it reminds me a lot of. It's extremely, bleh. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought because I've just read the wrong part completely. It's got some fantastic reviews. It's definitely worth a good look at, especially for the money, and it looks extremely cutesy and extremely lovely, so I'm definitely going to check it out at some point, and I suggest you do too. Maybe I should have did that bit out. We'll see. Anyway, moving straight on then, as the average tier. Mini Metro. Now, Mini Metro reminds me an awful lot of the subway map system that is available for the London Underground, and that's pretty much what it's supposed to do, because it's essentially a game where you are it's a strategy simulator game where you basically build a transport infrastructure by drawing lines between different destinations. So you're essentially, it's kind of like a minimalist Sim City, where you don't have to bother about the buildings, but more worry about getting people from point A to point B. And as the city grows, when there's more stations, and you have to basically build a transport system to accommodate all the people that are trying to travel from A to B to C to D to F to Z. It's got some extremely positive reviews again on Steam. It's 77% on Metacritic. I'm also going to try and play this game tonight if I don't run out of time playing Human Resource Machine. So it's definitely an interesting game, and it is quite a large game because you not only do London, but you do other cities around the world. So definitely worth a good look at, in my opinion anyway. Mushroom 11. Now, this game reminds me again of another old Sega game called The Ooze, where you basically control, in the same sort of sense, a load of slime or a load of, I suppose, ooze in the sense, and you move it around the world trying to sort of solve puzzles and prevent it from being destroyed. As you can sort of see by the sort of the ring there, it sort of looks like the sort of the touch panel. So it's like it's been sort of ported to the PC. You have to use it to solve puzzles, and you consume enemies in order to actually progress as you go. It's not as positive reviews as, say, some of the other games that's on Steam, but it's still quite high. It's 77 on Metacritic. It looks a pretty interesting kind of game. Definitely one for the puzzle fans and physics elements, as you can see there. So check it out, why not? Towerfall Ascension is a local party game, 4-player local party game where you use archery in terms of combat. You can fight each other, or you can fight monsters through various levels, through various arenas. It's $10.99 on Steam. I just realised I haven't given the prices of the previous games. I'll do that in a minute. It's $10.99 on Steam, and it's got some great reviews. It's 87% on Metacritic. I can't really give you much more than that because that's essentially all it is. It's an arena game, as you can see from some of the sort of actual gameplay elements they're showing. You go around and shoot bad guys, shoot each other, move around inside the world. So generally speaking, that's it. Now I do apologise. I do forget about that. Mini Metro is $6.99 and Mushroom 11 is $10.99. So anyway, finally, Evoland 2. Now, Evoland 2 is going to be a bit difficult to sort of explain beyond. Essentially, it's an RPG that covers multiple genres, hence the name Evoland. As you can see, the graphic style changes from sort of Game Boy-esque to 2-bit color system to full 3D graphics. But it's not just the graphic style that changes, it's the actual gameplay style. You've got a 2D platformer, a 3D platformer, a top-down isometric sort of approach, Bomberman, you've got columns or Tetris or whatever you call it, you've got 3D, you've got actual RPG elements, you've got it basically bullet hell things, Mario, it crosses multiple genres, multiple things. It's a giant sort of multitude of a game where it just all kinds of things are involved. It's extremely well received. It's not it's kind of difficult to sort of explain it in any real detail beyond what you're actually seeing, in that a lot of people love it for what it is. It just basically crosses all kinds of genres, and it does an extremely good job of it. It's $14.99 on Steam, and it's worth mentioning that you also get the soundtrack, which is worth $4.99 on Steam as part of the Humble bundle, but you don't get a Steam code for it, so it's actually on Humble and free of DRM, which is always a nice thing. But especially if you're not really someone that uses the Steam's soundtrack system, which I'm not. I'm a bit annoyed in the fact that you have to actually install the game to have the soundtrack, to be honest. But that's just my sort of take on things. Right, and that's pretty much it in terms of that. Sorry, it's been a bit all over the place. I did prepare everything, I did write everything down, but as I keep glancing over to my right, I keep reading the wrong bit. So maybe I need to make my text bigger or get better glasses. I will have a quick look at Friends of Nintendo and see if it was expanded. Oh, my gosh, it has been. So 3 more games have been added, which is it Sword and Shoulders, Soldiers, which and I haven't actually read it. Nano Assault X and Runbow Wii U. Now, I'm not actually going to do that because I think last week's was a bit of a washout, to be honest with you. I couldn't really review it properly, and the fact was, because it was Nintendo stuff, it wasn't really something I could really be interested in, or really sort of give you much more than, it looks good, buy it. But like I said last week, the general sort of consensus is it's a good deal. This is not a bad deal. Definitely based on the money wise and what you get out of it. The games themselves look pretty good. I don't imagine they'll last very long. Most of the games I think are fairly shortish games, or games that will lose their sort of originality quite quick. Evoland is apparently quite long, but that's up to you guys to decide for yourselves in that terms. And that's pretty much it, guys, in terms of my review this week. Of course, on Friday, Humble Monthly is coming, and I will review that on Saturday. But beyond that, that's pretty much it. So as always, like, subscribe, and comment on anything you have seen here, and let me know what you think. Of course, dislike as well. That's down to you guys. And I will see you on Saturday for another Humble review. Till next time, see ya.